Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Topps Friday presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today, we'll cover cards 367 through 373 in the set. Card number 367 belongs to Cal Neiman of the Chicago Cubs. 1959 was Neiman's third year in the big leagues. Neiman was a catcher who would spread his time in the majors between the Cubs, Phillies, Pirates, Indians, and Senators. Neiman originally signed with the Yankees in 1949. After spending multiple years in their farm system, interrupted by 2 years of military service, in 1957 Neiman led National League catchers in games caught at 118, as well as double plays, putouts, and caught stealing during his rookie season. In 1958, Neiman hit a career-high 12 home runs. His first 2 seasons in the big leagues were his most productive, and he would spend his final 5 seasons as a backup catcher. In 376 games, Neiman had 224 hits with 30 home runs and 97 RBI. Following his baseball career, Neiman returned to Illinois to work as a railway switchman while earning a teaching degree. He went on to work as a high school history and physical education teacher as well as an athletic coach. He opened an organic grocery store and later worked as a school supply salesman. Neiman died in 2015. Card number 368 belongs to Don Mueller of the Chicago White Sox. 1959 was the 12th and final major league season for Mueller. The son of Walter Mueller, who appeared in 121 games over parts of 4 seasons for the Pirates in the 1920s, Don Mueller was born in St. Louis and signed with the Giants ahead of the 1944 season. Mueller debuted with New York in 1948 and quickly earned a reputation as one of the hardest men to strike out in the game. In 1951, Mueller was the regular right fielder on the Giants club that forced a 3-game playoff for the NL pennant against the crosstown Dodgers. Down 3 in the bottom of the 9th in the decisive game, Mueller smacked a single and advanced to third on an RBI double by Whitey Lockman. However, Mueller badly sprained his ankle on the slide and had to be removed from the game. The next man up, Bobby Thompson, then launched a 3-run homer known as the shot heard round the world to win the pennant for the Giants. Mueller did not appear in the World Series due to his injury. In 1954, Mueller led the National League in hits with 212 and finished second to his teammate Willie Mays for the NL batting crown, hitting .342. Mueller was an All-Star that year and batted .389 in the Giants' World Series sweep of the Indians. He made another All-Star team in 1955. Mueller did not move with the Giants to San Francisco after 1957. He was sold to the White Sox instead. He had limited playing time that year and retired after just 4 games in 1959. Following his playing career, Mueller was a scout for the Giants and then spent years as an insurance company investigator. He died in 2011. Card number 369 belongs to Dick Tomanek of the Kansas City Athletics. 1959 was Tomanek's 5th and final year in the big leagues. Tomanek was a right-handed pitcher who would split his time in the big leagues between the Indians and Athletics. Standing at 6'1", his nickname was Bones. Tomanek signed with the Indians in 1950, playing for Cleveland's Class C affiliate. His baseball career was interrupted by military service in the Marine Corps. He continued to make his way through the farm system before making his major league debut in September 1953. While the team had high hopes for the 1954 season, he would only pitch 1 game as a relief pitcher, partly due to a sore elbow, which was diagnosed as curveball pitching disease. Tomanek would not play again in the majors until 1957, when he made the Indians' bullpen, finishing the season with a 2-1 record with a 5.68 ERA and 69 2/3 innings. He pitched for the Indians out of the bullpen again in 1958. His performance there would earn him some starts during the season. Shortly before the trade deadline, he was traded to the Athletics, where he would spend the final 2 seasons of his career in the majors. He ended his professional baseball career with a 10-10 win-loss record, a 4.95 ERA, and 166 strikeouts. Following his professional career, Tomanek went on to work for a chemical company until his retirement, and he died in 2023. Card number 370 belongs to Pete Runnels of the Boston Red Sox. This was his 9th MLB season. The Texan Runnels spent the first 7 years of his MLB career with the Senators. He was a solid, if unspectacular, contributor around the infield during his time in the nation's capital, batting .274. Ahead of 1958, the Senators traded him to the Red Sox, and his career began to take off. He batted .322 and finished 10th in AL MVP voting, with his teammate Ted Williams winning the batting title at .328 that year. The change in fortunes for Runnels could in part be attributed to Williams taking on Runnels as his protege, and Runnels won AL Comeback Player of the Year as a result. Runnels was twice an All-Star in 1959, batting .314. The next year, he won his first AL batting title at .320 and made both All-Star teams again. After a .317 season in 1961, Runnels took home the batting title again in 1962, hitting a career-high .326 and making the All-Star team again. With the arrival of the expansion Houston Colt 45s, Runnels expressed a desire to return home to Texas, and he was traded there for the final 2 seasons of his career. Runnels was a Red Sox coach after his playing days and spent the final 16 games of the 1966 season as Red Sox interim manager. Runnels owned a sporting goods store and a gas station, among other business interests in Texas. He died in 1991 and was posthumously inducted into the Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2004. Card number 371 belongs to Dick Brodowski of the Cleveland Indians. 1959 was Brodowski's 6th and final year in the big leagues. Brodowski would spread his time in the major leagues between the Red Sox, Senators, and Indians. Brodowski, the son of Polish immigrants, signed with the Red Sox in 1951, initially as a third baseman. Brodowski would be called upon to pitch due to a series of injuries in the organization. He won the game as a pitcher with a score of 11-1, and his pitching career began. He would make his major league debut with the Red Sox in 1952 at the age of 19 as a pitcher. Like many other baseball players during this time, Brodowski's baseball career was interrupted by military service at a time when he was really developing as a pitcher. He returned to baseball in 1955, where his career was mostly lackluster. Brodowski remained with the Red Sox for one more season before being traded to the Senators. After one season with the Senators, Brodowski was traded to the Indians, where he would end his time in the big leagues. Brodowski ended his career with a 9-11 win-loss record, a 4.76 ERA, and 85 strikeouts. Following his baseball career, Brodowski worked as a salesman for a life insurance company before going on to work in the security department for a Boston engineering firm until his retirement. He died in 2019. Card number 372 belongs to Jim Hegan of the Philadelphia Phillies. 1959 was Hegan's 16th season in MLB. No great pitching staff can survive without great catching, and the dominant Cleveland Indian staffs of the 1940s and 1950s relied on the outstanding defense and game calling of Jim Hegan, a native of Lynn, Massachusetts, who signed with Cleveland in 1938. He debuted in 1941 but missed 3 seasons serving in the U.S. Coast Guard during World War II. Upon return, he re-entered the Indians' catching mix and made the first of 5 AL All-Star teams in 1947. Hegan hit a career-high 14 homers in 1948, the same year the Indians won the AL pennant and beat the Braves in the World Series. From 1947 to 1956, the Indians led the American League in ERA 6 times as Hegan caught numerous future Hall of Fame pitchers, including Bob Feller, Bob Lemon, Early Wynn, and Leroy Satchel Paige. Hegan rounded out a 17-year MLB career by splitting his final 3 years among 4 teams, the Tigers, Phillies, Giants, and Cubs. Hegan spent 16 years as a coach in the Yankees organization, which included coaching his son Mike, who played 12 MLB seasons himself. Jim Hegan died in 1984. Card number 376 belongs to Herb Plews of the Washington Senators. This was the 4th and final MLB season for Plews. From 1956 through 1959, Plews appeared in 346 games as a utility infielder, with 13 games coming with the Red Sox and the rest with the Senators. He's one of few players in MLB history to hail from Montana. The Yankees originally signed Plews out of the University of Illinois and traded him to Washington while he was still playing in the minor leagues. Following his time with the Red Sox in 1959, Plews continued to play in the minor leagues, mostly appearing in AAA for different organizations through 1965. Plews then returned to Montana, where he worked for a cement plant before moving to Colorado to do the same work. He died in 2014. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Topps Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. Today's episode was written by Abby O'Donnell and Jake T. O'Donnell. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.